Because anytime like a big event for me, nobody else probably heard about this, but like anytime
it made national news, I think.
It's on national news. You can look this up. So Beech Mountain, the mountain that I go snowboard at most frequently, season pass holder. One of this, of course, it was a skier. One of the skiers hit a snowblower. He is okay, but he burst a pipe when he hit it, and so water that is provided throughout the entire park and the entire mountain is through these pipes in the snow, right? Well, it burst. So that's like, 500 pounds of water pressure, 1,000 pounds. It's something crazy.
Some crazy amount of PSI.
And it just so happened that where it burst was right over the Meadows lift. And so Meadows is like the green.
So they have a water pipe that's under a ski lift.
Right.
That seems like it could be a design problem.
It could be. See, typically it's not a huge problem because under the snow, right?
Oh, yeah.
But when somebody hits the snowblower that's outside of the snow, it somehow affects the water pressure inside the snow. So what he could have done is hit like a valve or something, hit a handle. That stuff should have been covered up, but wasn't.
Right.
So, the water pipe bursts and it shoots in the air, and it was over a green where it's a 2-seater lift. So there's not a lot of weight. It's a really small lift. It was 13 degrees outside. And water, 500 pounds to 1,000 pounds of pressure is like shooting up at where you're riding over. So if you were a single rider and God forbid you weighed under like 150 pounds or something, you're not getting over the water pressure. It was stopping the lift. So people were getting like trying to move up like on a normal.
So the lift didn't break down. See, I thought part of the story was this lift broke down, and it was like this comedy of errors that happened at one time. That lift broke down and this water pipe burst.
That would make more sense because you would think it would just be like, oh, what it was for me, because there's a 13-minute video. You can see what I thought was there's two people that got severely injured. And the one I saw was pretty rough. It was a younger guy. He was skinnier. It wasn't that the lift wasn't working. It worked, but you couldn't leave people to get sprayed on because it was 13 degrees and it's a lot of water. They were literally freezing, getting hypothermia. So you had to move them through, but then when you move them through, the next person was going to get hit. So it's this weird table of like, what do we do? And so some of the people, they
cut the water off.
Well, that was my question. I was like, how hard? I don't do this job. I know nothing about.
There's got to be a valve somewhere.
There's got to be a valve somewhere, and I really wish it was faster. But this guy, for 4 minutes straight, can't get past the water. He's just getting sprayed.
So it's
lifting the lift.
What's the temperature outside?
13 degrees.
It's 13 degrees outside, and he is how many feet off the ground?
Don't forget, this is water that's used to blow snow.
So it's freezing water.
It is freezing.
It's cold.
And by the way, this is like a 120-pound girl.
This happened Friday.
This happened to a girl.
So there's two people that this happened to. The first guy is the one on the video that you can see.
Okay.
He gets stuck. He's hit. And by the end of it, he is literally unconscious. I'm pretty sure he's unconscious. He's halfway hanging out the lift, and he's white because he's ice now. It was 3 minutes. He couldn't get over it, and they couldn't turn the water off.
It is amazing they survived that.
Oh,
yeah. And now, your question was, what's the hardest way you've ever seen?
Because they're going to get paid for this.
Food service industry is difficult. Everybody knows that. And it's not skill-wise. It's not taking a lot, but it's difficult. That is the hardest way to earn money, because if that was me, I own Beech Mountain after this. My first thought was, because I was riding with somebody that was competing, and he was like, oh man, just think of like the settlement they're going to get. And I was like, dude, I would have all new snow gear. He was like, I would have a house.
I'd have a house on top of Beech Mountain.
Like my dumb brain was like, oh man, I could get a new snowboard. And he's like, I'm going to literally live on the top of the mountain.
Listen, if that's what it takes to get paid, I'll stay poor. That was awful. I saw that and I was like, they killed these poor people.
It's like, who do you blame in that situation? I mean,
it's an accident. I mean, you can't really blame anyone.
It's chaos.
But golly, I saw that and I was like, good night.
For the record, this happened Friday. It didn't affect business. That was the busiest I'd ever seen it on Saturday. And I think what it was like everybody knew the mountain. They were like, they have fresh snow?
Where did this snow come from?
Like, I kid you not. Everybody there was like, yeah, I saw on the news that they had fresh powder. I was like, why did you know they had fresh powder? It's like, well, Friday was busy because some girl almost died.
It's terrible.
It's awful.